Hello and welcome back to another episode on Heal Out Loud. And today's episode is all about preparing for the new year with sustainable habits, how to avoid repeated patterns, and creating results that actually stick. This episode is part of segment 5, where I will be sharing my framework on how to use my framework to heal and attract the life of your dreams in this coming new year 2026. So basically, my framework, which I used for myself and I use for my clients, which helped us heal our depression, our sadness, our lost era, and shifted us into feeling peace, calmness, gratitude with or without a partner, is divided into 3 phases. And phase 1 is where we heal the child that's been hurting all along. So you need to understand that the brain is divided into 2 parts, and if you've been listening to these episodes, you're tired of listening to this, which is good because it is now ingrained in your subconscious brain. So your brain is divided into 2 parts, 5% conscious, the brain that you're using to listen or to watch this episode, and 95% subconscious. And your subconscious brain is developed when you're growing up. It's developed between the ages of around 2 till 10. And anything that happened in your life growing up, it could have been big trauma, it could have been little trauma. It doesn't matter how big or small it was. If there were moments where you felt excluded, where you felt like there was something wrong with you, where you felt different, then all these cues that you started getting when you were a kid from your parents, from your siblings, from your cousins, from your aunts, from your uncles, from school, from society in general, what you watch on movies, anything, it starts being embedded in your subconscious brain. You start making these beliefs, both limiting beliefs and both positive beliefs about yourself, and they start building your identity. It's like a computer which has no software inside, and then between the ages of 2 till 10, information starts being inputted in this computer and it becomes its software. The same goes to you with your subconscious brain. So if every single new year you start thinking and planning on how you can be a better person, on how you want your new year to look, on the habits that you want to get rid of, on the habits that you want to include in your day-to-day, and 15 days down the line, everything fades and we're back to square one. And that is very understandable because the brain will always try and take you back to the known. Even though the known is not safe, is not healthy, is not what you want, the brain will always take you back to the known because it is safe. Because the brain and the body, they hate the unknown. They hate that they can't predict what's going to happen in the future. So you might say that you want to quit smoking, you might say that you want to quit binging, you might say that you want to start going to the gym, or you might say that you're going to start spending less time on social media, that you're not going to chase people. And in the beginning, you start off very well. But then all of a sudden you find yourself back into the same habits, same routines, same thoughts, same conversations, gossiping, hating, feeling like a victim. And this is all because of your subconscious brain. So in phase 1 of my framework, we start by healing the child. And when we heal the inner child, what we're doing is we're reprogramming the subconscious brain. So if there's beliefs that you carried from your childhood that says you're not good enough, there's something wrong with you, you never managed to stick to a plan, you're not worthy enough, you are not strong enough, you never managed to succeed, you never managed to stick to a new routine. All these beliefs that are in your subconscious brain, we rewire them through healing the inner child. And once you start giving the inner child what it needed when it was a kid and it didn't receive, as well as changing the limiting beliefs your inner child learned growing up to beliefs that are going to work in your favor instead, that's when the subconscious brain starts firing and wiring different neurons. So your brain is made up of neurons, and right now, your neurons are wired to make you believe that change is impossible for you, that you are a victim, that you are unlucky, that bad things always happen to you, that others are just luckier, that others have it better than you, that you always attract shitty people into your life, that you're always going to have to suffer. Right now, your neurons are wired this way. And firstly, it's because of what I just explained. It's because of the limiting beliefs you carried from when you were a kid. Secondly, these limiting beliefs protected you as a kid. So if, for example, you knew that mom and dad or whoever was raising you were always fighting, when you were at school and it was time to go back home, you start preparing yourself for what you're about to find at home. And you start telling yourself, okay, do not put your hopes up, because most probably the vibe is going to be really negative when I get home. Most probably mom and dad are going to be fighting. Mom is going to be in a mood because of that. Dad is not going to be at home. So you started preparing yourself for the worst. And if you went home and you found a good vibe, then you would have just appreciated that, okay, for once, there's a good vibe. But if you went home and found a bad vibe, you'd still have felt sad, but at the same time, you would have prepared yourself for it. So these limiting beliefs about life, about yourself, about others, saved you as a kid, protected you as a kid. So a limiting belief out of this could be that life is sad, right? And now as an adult, the same limiting belief is not protecting you, it's not safeguarding you, it's not saving you. It is sabotaging your happiness, because as kids, we need our parents to survive, we need our caretakers to survive, but as an adult, you do not need your parents, you do not need your partner, you do not need anyone, because you are enough to survive. Of course, life is better with others in it, yes, granted, but you do not need others to survive like you needed them as a kid. So as an adult, if you have this limiting belief that life is just sad, what's going to happen is you're going to keep on attracting more sad circumstances. You're going to keep on attracting situations and people into your life that are going to make you feel more sad. And if you're going to wake up and you're going to live from this limiting belief that life is sad, you're going to wake up, you're going to feel sad, you're going to go to work and sad things are going to happen at work. Maybe you argue with a colleague, maybe one other colleague throws you under the bus, maybe you expected a raise and you didn't get it. And then after work, you're going to meet friends or you're going to go home with your family. And since you're constantly operating from this belief that life is sad without you even knowing from your subconscious brain. But if you're constantly operating from this belief, what's going to happen is anything that's going to happen in the house or with friends, you're going to view it from this lens of life is sad. And if, for example, your friend tells you, listen, I'm going to be 30 minutes late because something came up, instead of being able to have empathy to see what happened to your friend, you're going to take that person and you're going to make that mean that, oh, they don't care about my feelings, they don't care about my time. And you're going to keep on living from this limiting belief that life is sad, that everything that happens in my life is just sad. So that is an example of how one limiting belief can plan out your life. And of course, in your subconscious brain, you don't have just one limiting belief. In your subconscious brain, you have many limiting beliefs. So to be able to start really sticking to a new routine, to new habits, to persist in your new identity, you need to first start with seeing what are the limiting beliefs that you have stored in your brain. It's useless saying that, okay, from 2026, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to quit eating sugar. I'm going to quit eating rubbish. I'm going to quit this, quit that, and do this and do that. It's useless saying that if you have limiting beliefs stored in your subconscious brain, telling you that you never managed to persist, telling you that you never managed to succeed. So before you actually make the plans, before you actually make the vision boards, before you actually write down all your affirmations, write down all your dreams and visions for 2026, which is good, don't get me wrong, but these things aren't manifesting for you, these things aren't working out for you, because with your 5% conscious brain, you want a healthy, loving relationship, you want a healthy body, you want a healthy lifestyle, you want a healthy mindset, you want healthy friendships, you want healthy relationships, you want an amazing job. So with your 5% conscious brain, that's what you wish for. That's what you're striving for. But your 95% subconscious brain, which is 90% more than 5%, so it's much stronger, much more powerful. So of course, it always overrides what you want consciously. With this 95% subconscious brain, you have limiting beliefs stored in there that are hindering your process, that are taking you back to the old you, to the old habits, to the old patterns. And that's why you can't break the cycle. You can do as many manifesting techniques as possible. You can write down your dreams. You can say that this year, definitely, this is going to be my year. If you're not going to heal the limiting beliefs, to shift them into beliefs that work in your favor, you are going to have the same year as 2025, 2024, 2023. Just maybe it will get worse, actually, because now you're growing older and you're realizing that, oh my God, it's true that I never managed to succeed. I never managed to persist. I never managed to stick to a routine. And you're giving more proof that this limiting belief is true. So it becomes harder and harder to rewire the subconscious brain. But it's still possible if you understand the subconscious brain can really be rewired. And this is not like the Lulu stuff or anything like this. This is real scientific based stuff. And as I explained earlier, your brain has neurons, and right now your neurons are wired to pass on messages to your brain saying that I am not good enough, there's something wrong with me, I am unlucky, I always attract negative things into my life. So right now you have these neurons, and one is passing on information to the other neuron, which passes on information to your being, who you are, that you're not good enough, that there's something wrong with you. And once you persist in changing these limiting beliefs, what this neuron passes from one to the other, the messages, that's when you're going to see a different routine in your life. You're going to see more success. You're going to finally manage to stick to your goals, your visions, your dreams, your desires. So with healing the inner child, we rewire the subconscious brain, meaning that the limiting beliefs stored in these neurons are also going to start changing. And instead of I am not good enough, we're going to start believing that we are good enough, that you are good enough. And then these neurons are going to start passing messages into your brain that you are good enough. And once you start believing that you are good enough, you're no longer going to snooze. You're no longer going to say that you're going to do something and not end up doing it. And of course, you're human. You will still have your moments, but really, really different moments. And whenever you have those moments, you will not shame and blame yourself. You will be kind and compassionate, which helps you to get back on track even quicker. If you want your 2026 to be different than your other previous years, is to start with inner child healing. It's nothing grand, it's nothing out of this world, it's nothing delulu. It's just reparenting your inner child. And every single human being needs to reparent their inner child, because every single parent on this planet is a human being for the first time, and every parent doesn't know what they're doing. Of course, there are some parents who are less dysregulated than others, so they gave a much more secure upbringing to their kids. However, even those parents who are giving their kids a really good, secure upbringing, they will still make mistakes because they're human too. And if you're still not ready to heal your inner child and to reparent your inner child, what I suggest is that you start noticing what's happening in your life. And you start noticing what's happening into your life by becoming more aware. Instead of gossiping, venting, scrolling on social media, taking drugs, drinking alcohol, binge eating, instead of trying to numb the pain through all of these things, sit with yourself every single day and journal or have an internal conversation with yourself and try to notice which limiting beliefs you have. So let's say, for example, you're always having problems in romantic relationships. Is it possible that every single person that you had in your life is the bad person? Or could it be that you also have your own toxic traits? And it's understandable that they also have their own toxic traits, but I am pretty sure that each and every single one of you, including me, we have our own negative traits. So it's very important, instead of pointing fingers outwards, that you go inwards and sit with yourself and check in with yourself, what is really happening in my life? Is it possible that every single friend that I have is an asshole, or is it maybe I am doing something? Is it possible that every single person I attract in my life has a problem, or am I attracting the wrong people into my life? If you're feeling anger, why are you feeling all this anger? Could it be because you're constantly people-pleasing but never pleasing yourself? If this is the case, start checking in with yourself, journaling, internal conversations, talking to yourself out loud, and really figure out what are your limiting beliefs. For example, my biggest limiting belief used to be that I am unlovable, and some other limiting beliefs I used to have, and sometimes they still come up, But of course, I have to persist in shifting my identity from the past identity to the new identity after inner child healing. And some of my limiting beliefs used to be that I am not good enough, people always leave, life is just sad. So sit with yourself. If you have time to do the vision board, if you have time to write down all your dreams and manifestations, take some time before 2026 becomes exactly a mirror of your previous years, and sit with yourself and ask yourself, what are my limiting beliefs? Once you have these limiting beliefs, ask yourself, what is a belief I'd rather believe? So let's say, for example, one of your limiting beliefs is, I am not good enough. And you're going to ask yourself, what is a belief I'd rather believe? And I'm pretty sure that the belief that you'd rather believe is that I am more than good enough. So write down this new belief that you want to believe and start speaking to yourself and saying, listen, it is safe for me to feel that I am more than good enough. It is safe for me to let go of my old belief. It is safe for me to start living from the new belief that I am good enough. And every single time that your subconscious brain tries to take over, that your subconscious brain tries to tell you, you're not good enough, because your brain is trying to protect you. As I explained earlier, what protected you as a kid is sabotaging your happiness as an adult. So every time your brain tells you, you're not good enough, that's why they did this, that's why they did that, remind yourself and tell your brain, thank you, brain, for trying to keep me safe. However, I have a new belief now, and the new belief is, I am more than good enough, for example. It is very important to persist in this new belief and to be consistent. We are not looking for perfection here. We are looking for progress. And it's going to be hard to persist in these beliefs, especially in the beginning. You will manage. And if you really, really want to shift your subconscious brain, to rewire your subconscious brain, I highly suggest that you do inner child healing. But until then, you can start trying these methods slowly. The more you're going to persist in these new beliefs, the more your brain is going to try and trick you, because your brain is going to think like, whoa, what's happening? So we've spent 30 plus years believing we're not good enough, which protected us, which saved us as kids. And now all of a sudden, she's saying that she's more than good enough. No, this does not make sense. And your brain is going to try and pull you back into your old programming. It's especially important in these moments that you persist. And if you're not managing to persist on your own, do not stress. There's my group coaching program and my one-on-one coaching program, where we do exactly just this. I do not meet my clients just for their sessions. My clients have access to me throughout the week, where they're falling back into old habits. They speak to me and I get them out of this spiral very quickly. And this is what coaching is all about. Having someone holding you accountable, having someone helping you shift from your old identity into your new identity quicker and faster and in a safe, loving container. So that's basically phase 1 of my framework on how to heal and attract the life of your dreams. Phase 2 is all about the laws of the universe. And the laws of the universe aren't delulu, they're also scientific. The same way that the law of gravity works without you questioning why it works, the laws of the universe work as well. And there is the law of attraction, which states that think positive, receive positive, think negative, receive negative. And it's very hard to think positive when you have a dysregulated nervous system, when you have a wounded inner child, when you have your programming working against you, meaning that the subconscious brain is wired full of limiting beliefs. So to get to phase 2, you need to first heal the child. You need to first rewire your subconscious brain. You need to first regulate your nervous system. Because if your nervous system is not regulated, it means that the body thinks that you are fighting a tiger attack, a bear attack, any type of attack. And imagine you're running away from a lion. If you're trying to run away from a lion, you're definitely not going to be able to sit down and manifest and think positive and use the laws of the universe to your favor. If you're running from a lion, all you care about is surviving the lion attack, right? So it's very important to understand that to get to phase 2, you need to first heal the child, regulate your nervous system, and rewire your subconscious brain. Because I remember I had been studying a lot about the laws of the universe whilst I was still very dysregulated, whilst I still had a very wounded inner child. And all of a sudden, I realized that I was not the victim of my reality. I was the creator of it. That with the law of attraction, I was attracting all the negative things into my life because I was always thinking negative. But when you have a wounded inner child that's always thinking negative, like I explained earlier, to protect itself. Of course, you can't think positive. So very important from the bottom of my heart, before you try phase 1, forget this phase. Just have the awareness about it, but do not try to implement anything from this phase until you spend a good week or 2 on phase 1. So yes, phase 2 is all about the laws of the universe. And here you will shift from realizing that you're not the victim of your reality. You're not the victim of your ex. You're not the victim of your ex-friend. You're not the victim of this sad job that you have. You're not the victim of your parents. You are not the victim. And sometimes it's safer and easier to believe that you are the victim, because if you are a victim, then there's nothing that you can do about it. And, well, I can feel sad. And you might be telling me, I hate feeling sad, but a part of you enjoys feeling sad because that's all you've known all along. But this phase helps you realize that you have all the power in your hands. And after you heal your inner child, this phase becomes really fun. It's like you're working with this magic and with this science. It's a really, really fun phase. And basically, this phase is all about using the law of attraction, the law of detachment, the law of assumption, and other laws in your favor. So, as I explained, the law of attraction, if you feel good, if you're in a positive frequency, you're going to get more good things. And if you're constantly feeling sad, constantly feeling like a victim, constantly blaming others, blaming your circumstances, then you're going to attract more of that. Because the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, does not understand positives and negatives. The universe just sees what you're focusing on, and what you're focusing on, it will give you more of that. So if you're focusing on the negatives, on how everyone always cheats you, on how everyone is always mean to you, on how unlucky you are, the universe is going to give you more things that are going to make you feel that way. Whereas if you focus on positive things, the universe is going to give you more things which are going to give you more positive feelings. So, very important to express gratitude every single day. Even when life is shit, there's still things to be grateful for. Start with your eyesight, your hearing, you having internet to watch this, you having a phone to watch this. So there's always things to be grateful for every single day. And the more you express gratitude, the more things to be grateful for the universe will give you. It's like gratitude is the currency that you pay the universe with, basically. Another important part here is to realize how you speak. Basically, the universe doesn't understand negatives or positives. So, it only understands what you're focusing on. So if you say, I don't want to be single, the universe is hearing you say, I want to be single. So what is the opposite of you not wanting to be single? What is it that you want to feel? What is the positive emotion that you want to feel? I want to be in a fulfilling, loving relationship. So instead of saying, I don't want to be alone, shift it to, I am safe to want to be in a fulfilling, loving relationship. Because what you're going to focus on, the universe is going to give you more of that. I'm sorry I'm repeating, but this is very, very important. So make a list of things. For example, I don't know. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to be skinny. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be in this relationship. Make a list of all the things that you do not want in your life and shift them to the things that you want in your life. And once you shift those things to what you want in your life and you persist in having faith, knowing that you will receive these things, the universe will grant you with these things. This is all like, imagine you switch on your radio and you switch on your radio on a negative frequency. All you're going to listen to is negative music, whereas if you want to listen to positive music, you're going to switch to a positive frequency on your radio. It's as simple as that. Of course, it needs persistence, it needs trust, it needs faith, but you can do this. I suggest it is very important that you heal the inner child first, that you regulate your nervous system first, rewire your subconscious brain, because if all of this is dysregulated, you're not going to manage to work with faith. There is also the law of assumption, and this is the law that has changed my life completely. And the law of assumption states that whatever we assume will harden into fact. So if you're constantly assuming that you're going to spend your life alone, that's what's going to happen. You will be in a relationship, you will start feeling happiness, and you pray and promise that this time round, this is the one. Then 3 months in, attachment starts kicking in, your dysregulated nervous system, your wounded inner child and your subconscious brain, which is wired to work against you, start come into play. And all of a sudden you're just assuming, because you have maybe a limiting belief that everyone leaves or everyone cheats or nobody loves me or I'm unlovable. And all of a sudden, when the attachment starts kicking in and everything is activated, you start pushing the person away. You start sabotaging your own relationship. And without you even knowing. And then when the person leaves or when the relationship is literally done, there's no chemistry anymore, no connection, no love, then you can sit in your chair or sit on your bed and say, you see, I was right. Everyone leaves, nobody loves me, everyone cheats, so on and so forth. And I'm going to continue reaffirming this story, the negative story that you have about yourself, other people, and the world. So it is very important to know that what you assume will harden into fact. What you assume for long enough will harden into fact. If you're going to assume that you are healthy for a long enough time, you are going to see health manifesting in your body. If you're going to assume that you're always sick and you're always complaining, you're going to see more of that in your outer reality. For your outer reality to change, your inner reality must change first. If you want to see a different reflection in the mirror, let's say it's me, I have black hair. Let's say I want to see myself with blonde hair. I can't go in front of the mirror and expect the mirror to show me with blonde hair. I have to dye my hair first. So before we change what we're seeing in the outer reality, we have to change our inner reality first. You must change your inner reality first. And there's no loopholes. There's no, this works for person A, this works for person B. No. The law of gravity works for everyone. These laws work for every single person. And right now your brain might be trying to protect you by telling you, no, this doesn't work for you. You're damaged beyond repair. There's something inherently wrong with you. I know, trust me, I used to feel that way too. I used to feel that there was no hope for me. I used to really, really fear that the only way out of my misery was for me to vanish from this planet. And as sad as that might sound, I am here to tell you that this is possible. I had lots and lots and lots of trauma in my childhood. I genuinely do not know how I survived most of that. And if you haven't heard episode 1, go and hear that episode to give you more power, more hope, more faith that this can work for you too. So these laws really, really work. And once you regulate your nervous system, heal the inner child, rewire your subconscious brain, that's when you can play around with the laws of the universe and start creating the reality of your dreams and start attracting the life of your dreams. I used to feel sad all the time. I used to spiral so much in breakups. Like the main story I had when I was going through a breakup was, if my mom and dad didn't want me, of course nobody else wants me. In this breakup, it's so different. Like you can feel the sadness, you can feel the disappointment of something not working out, but I still managed to go train, I still managed to go to yoga, I still managed to show up for my work, to show up even more for my clients, to go to the supermarket, to go buy vegetables and groceries, to cook, to go out with friends, to laugh, to live life. That would have never been able or possible for me in the past before I healed my inner child. I used to work in a field I really disliked with a passion and studied my degrees and masters in finance investments, and I really didn't like it, and I used to feel really unhappy because I wasn't following my dreams and my passion. And now I'm following my dream and my passion, and I have my own business and I'm working with people like I always wanted to do all my life. I am healthy. I healed both autoimmunes that I have. Like they're still there, I'm pretty sure, but I haven't had a flare-up for I think around 2 years. So my grandma passed away, who genuinely, I miss my mom a lot, but with my grandma, I have so many memories that it's very tough when Christmas was around the corner, and I've lost my nana only recently, so it's been really, really tough. But I've been grieving in a way more peaceful way and not spiraling, not allowing people who are trying to ruffle my feathers to get to me. So doing this work is amazing, guys. And I'm not saying this because I teach this work, but it's because it is what saved me. After going to therapy since I was 7 years old and nothing working, and meditation and journaling and this and that, and Reiki and trying every healing method under the sun, and nothing worked for me. For me, this is what saved me. So I will never stop talking about it. And every other healing method now, I still use, for example, with meditation, with journaling. I love meditating, I love journaling, but when you're in a very dysregulated state, meditation, journaling, and any other healing methods are not going to get you out of the destructive rut you're in, because what is really happening is that your wounded inner child is acting up, and your wounded inner child needs you. It doesn't need more shame and blame from you. It doesn't need you to shout at her or at him when you overeat, or when you don't manage to go to the gym, or when you're not living life to your full potential. It needs kindness and compassion. The kinder and compassionate you are towards yourself, the quicker and faster the results. Whereas then there's phase 3, and phase 3 is where we embody everything, and I help my clients to become the embodied woman, the embodied man that they always deserved to be before all the trauma, before all the conditioning happened. And we start embodying all of this through other methods, not just inner child healing, and that is we use some somatics, we use EFT tapping, we use nervous system regulation exercises, we continue with the inner child healing, and we create a routine that is definitely doable, not a routine that is too little and not a routine that is too much, but a routine that definitely my clients can follow without feeling more shame and without blaming themselves even more. So apart from the routine and apart from all these methods that I am sharing about phase 3, what we also do in phase 3 is where I start telling my clients to start asking themselves, if I lived from the embodied identity, how would I act right now? What would I say right now? Am I saying yes to this person but no to myself? What do I really want right now? They start saying no without fearing abandonment. They learn how to sit with their feelings. They learn how to regulate their emotions. They learn how to stand up for themselves. They learn how to stop people pleasing, how to stop chasing external validation, how to stop living their life for others, and finally live their life for themselves. And once they start doing that, the autoimmunes that they might have, or any diseases or any sickness that they might have been enduring throughout all their life starts fading away. Because when you're sending a direct message to your body like, listen, we're safe now. We're no longer running away from a lion. We're no longer running away from a tiger. When you are sending a message to your inner child, the same inner child, so meaning 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old you as a kid, when you're sending the message that, hey, listen, I'm here for you. I'm never going to abandon you. I choose you first. You are what matters. I'm not going to please anyone. I'm just going to please you. When you're sending your body that message, and when you're sending your inner child that message, all of a sudden, everything can calm down. All of a sudden, everything feels safe. And this is such a beautiful journey. And if you are tired of not sticking to the new year, new me bullshit, it is time to go inwards. It is time to put aside the manifestations, the vision boards, and all the trendy Instagram stuff that there is going on right now, and instead go inwards. You don't need a fancy morning routine. You do not need a fancy vision board. You do not need a fancy this or that. All you need is to sit with yourself, understand yourself, become aware, and then become responsible and take action to shift your inner world. Once you shift your inner world, your outer world will shift. This is my promise to you for 2026. If you're interested in learning more about this topic, go on my Instagram, Evolving with Nicole. There's lots of free guides and other information over there. And if you really want 2026 to be your year, I have spots left in my group coaching program, which is starting in January. It's called You Again, Coming Back Home to Yourself, where we go through these 3 phases where you will be in a group with like-minded women going through the same things. And in this community of women, you realize that you are not alone. I will be there leading you, directing you, coaching you, helping you persist, helping you shift and rewire into who you were always meant to be before the trauma. And there will be, as I said, like-minded women showing you and giving you the safety and the comfort that, phew, this isn't just me. There are other people who feel like me. and you will grow together, and it will be the best 3 months of your life. I'm really excited for it to start, and I would be really, really happy to have you there with us. I wish you a very happy new year, and I wish that this new year will be the year that you finally choose yourself and come back home to you.